What happens when you don't praise a child? You might be thinking, wait, what is she talking about? Isn't praise a good thing? Well, yes and no. In Montessori, we take a slightly different approach. We focus on engagement and observation, not constant praise. And the results? They're really incredible. Let me show you what I mean. In Montessori, we try to step back from praise. We focus more on noticing, describing, and reflecting the child's effort back to them. Instead of, you're so clever, we might say, you really concentrated on that puzzle. Instead of, I love that drawing of yours, we might say, you use so many colors. I see you added so many tiny details here. And when we do this consistently, something beautiful happens. Montessori philosophy encourages us to shift from praise to encouragement, from good job to noticing effort, perseverance, and process. Why? Because too much praise, especially vague praise, can create children who look outside themselves for approval. But when we hold back on praise and we offer meaningful observations instead, children begin to trust themselves. They become self-motivated, resilient, and proud from within. That's what we call intrinsic motivation, and it's a big deal. Let me tell you about one of my sons, Aryan. Once he was working with the multiplication board, and if you've not seen that material before, I will link it right above here. He had chosen this by himself, and halfway through he began to struggle. He was struggling, and he looked like he was just about to give up. I could feel this urge rising inside me to jump in and say, "You're doing great, keep at it, come on, you can do it." But I paused, and instead I simply said, "You're really concentrating. I can see that you're thinking hard about how to solve this equation." Then I stepped back. He sat for a while, quiet, focused, and then slowly he kept going. When he finally completed the whole sum card correctly and all on his own, he didn't need me to clap for him. He didn't need me to say good job, because his whole face lit up with that look of, I did it. This wasn't because I praised him, but because he knew, he felt it. That's the power of not praising. It creates space for the child to feel success from within. So, what do we say instead? You can try. You didn't give up even when it was hard. You chose lots of colors for your painting. You put everything back in its place. These are observations, not judgments. They help the child reflect and build their inner compass. When we shift away from praise, children stop performing for approval. They begin to do things for the joy of doing them. They will take more risks. They're more resilient when things go wrong. And they're less afraid to fail because they're not worried about disappointing us. And as they grow, they're better at self-evaluating. They ask themselves, did I try my best? Did I enjoy that? What could I do differently next time? That's the kind of thinking that we want to nurture, right? Our children develop what we call a growth mindset. They start to see effort as valuable. They don't fear mistakes. They learn from them. And this is at the very heart of Montessori. Research supports this too. Studies show that children who are overpraised may actually become more risk-averse. They're less likely to challenge themselves. But children who are encouraged instead of praised, they become more confident, more independent, and more curious. Everybody wants that, right? In the Montessori classroom, we see this all the time. A child might sweep the floor without being asked, not for a sticker, not for well done, but simply because they noticed it was messy. Another child might keep pouring water again and again, not because someone told them that they were doing a good job, but because they're enjoying the process. They're building concentration, and that's what we want. Children who do things because they find meaning in them, not because they want to please us. Now, does that mean we never say good job? Of course not. We're human, and sometimes it just slips out. I've done it many times. That's okay. What matters is the intention. Is the praise about you and your opinion, what you feel? Or is it helping the child reflect on their own process? So instead of just praising the product, praise the process. Instead of approval, offer acknowledgement. And most of all, trust that the child already wants to learn and grow. Our job is just to support that. The idea is to guide the child back to their own experience so they can build confidence from the inside out. If you're wondering how to start doing this at home, here are just a few gentle ideas. Instead of, "You're such a good boy," you can try, "I saw how gentle you were with your sister today." Instead of, "That's perfect," you could say, "You worked really hard on that. You must be so proud of yourself." Instead of, "You're amazing," try, "You kept trying even when it was hard." These small shifts build self-awareness and confidence that isn't dependent on us constantly affirming them. Now, this doesn't happen overnight. It's a habit, and like all habits, it takes practice. Even I still catch myself saying "good job" sometimes, and that's okay. What matters is that we're mindful, that we slow down, that we really see the child. Because when we stop praising, we start connecting, and that's when real growth happens. If you found this helpful, you might enjoy our book, The Montessori Handbook. We wrote it for both parents and teachers to explain Montessori in everyday language with lots of real examples, practical tips, and gentle guidance. We cover topics just like this one. You can find it on Amazon worldwide, and for those of you in Indonesia, it's available on Shopee. If this video gave you a new perspective, please leave a comment and share your experience because I love hearing your stories. Thank you so much for watching and for being open to seeing things a little differently. And until we meet again, have a beautiful day.